everyone, I've had so many of you ask me to share my morning and my evening skincare routines with you, so I'm going to share my morning with you now and show you how I keep my skin looking so clear and fresh and young looking. If you want to know more about that, stay tuned. Hi, my name is Ziggy and I'm from Look 10 Years Younger, and my mission in life is to support and inspire mature women everywhere to look and feel even more beautiful than they already are, and to help them with their confidence. And one of the ways that it's been really important for me to do that is to take really good care of my skin. And so many of you have asked me, well, what skincare do you use? What products do you use? What regime do you go through? So today I'm going to share that with you. One of the first things that's really important for me to let you know is that I'll link all of the products that I use down below, but I really want to let you know as well that I change things up in my skincare routine. My morning skincare routine tends to be probably a little bit more stable than my evening one, but I do change it up. I change up cleansers, I change up what serums I'm using, and I do that so that my skin can have a little bit of a change, and also because I get so many products to review from companies that sometimes I need to change things out and swap things around so that I can review them as well. But let's get started. Essentially, I do a cleanse, I do a tone, then I put my active AHAs and BHAs on to my skin, then I use my serums, then I use my face oil, then I use my moisturizers, and then I do my sunscreen. So let's get started. So then after I've cleansed and patted my skin dry, my next step is toner. Currently I'm using the Kiehl's, or is it Kyle's? Kiehl's toner. Normally I would use the Paula's Choice toner, but I tried the Kiehl's toner because it has squalene in it, which is really nice for your skin. I prefer the Paula's Choice Resist toner because it is much gentler on dry skin, and I don't like toner when it zings up your skin. Do you know what I mean? When you're putting toner on and your skin just goes you know, that kind of thing. I don't like that. I quite like this Kiehl's toner. It's got glycerine in like the Paula's Choice one has, which is really nice. But I still think my holy grail toner is the Paula's Choice Resist range. My next thing after toner is to put on my BHA, and I'm using the Paula's Choice BHA. I haven't got my contacts in, so I need to wear my glasses. This is a 2% BHA liquid. I only use this on my nose area. I have fairly dry skin, so I don't have an acne issue or anything like that, but I just put this on my nose because I tend to get, if I don't look after it and BHA it, I tend to get blackheads across that area there. So I'll just put a little bit of that on. That just takes a little while to dry. Then I'll use my Abaji exfoliator. I'm currently using the Exfoliator Forte. This is an AHA. This one has glycolic acid and lactic acid. I've used quite a few different AHAs. I never go without an AHA in the morning. And I found that this one is pretty good in that it definitely chemically exfoliates, but it does so gently and without getting all of that drying effect. I was using some other brands, but I tend to find that with too strong a AHA, I get lots of peeling in here and peeling in here. Abaji do 2 of these. They do just the Exfoliator, and this one has phytic acid in it, and it's really gentle, super gentle. So I'll use just the Exfoliator if, for instance, my skin is not having a good day, but under normal circumstances I will use the Exfoliator Forte, which is slightly stronger. And this one is really suitable for combination or oily skins, whereas the gentler form is much more useful for a drier skin. I will just put on about that much, and I will take my glasses off so that I don't get it all over my glasses, and I will just pat that all over my face and gently massage it in. I take it right under my eyes. I don't take it on top of my eyes. For any of you that have dry skin that tends towards flakiness, avoid putting AHAs in your nose area, in these folds here, and never put it on top of your eyes. Once I've got my AHAs and BHAs on, they are my cosmeceuticals in effect. My next step is to then go in with my serums. Now currently I am using, let me put my glasses on again, I'm using the Ultraderm Absolute B3 serum. They sent this to me to test, and I quite like it. I'm not super loyal to it. I'd probably I'm quite happy to go off and try other serums, and in fact in the new year I will be doing exactly that, but I quite like this, and I mix that with the Paula's Choice Resist Hyaluronic Acid Booster, and this really just helps my skin to retain that little bit more moisture as well. So what I'll do is, this bottle is actually almost empty, so normally I would take the dropper and drop a couple of drops, but it's pretty much empty, so I'm going to take just a couple of drops of that, and then I'm going to take my Paula's Choice Hyaluronic Acid, and I'm going to drop a couple of drops in that as well. Then I mix that all together in my hand and take my glasses off again and just pat that into my skin. And don't forget, ladies, to do around your neck as well. Right, so that's that one done. And then my next product is vitamin C. Now, put my glasses on again. I've used a ton of vitamin C serums, and I've used vitamin C ascorbic acid, the actual powder, and added that to serums as well. But I keep going back to the Abaji vitamin C serum. Now I use the 20%, it comes in 10, 15 and 20%. I prefer the 20%, and I will take a dropper out, and I tend to go for 7 drops, which is quite adequate. Make sure that you shut the bottle up immediately once you've done it. I keep forgetting I've got my glasses on. And then I just take some with my hands, with my fingertips, and pat that into my skin. And not forgetting your neck. Now, with what's left in my hand, for me, because I have age spots on that hand, I just rub it on the back of my hands. Now, with vitamin C, a vitamin C serum is not water soluble, it's oil soluble. And you'll find that most of your skincare products that you use, cleansers, moisturizers, and so on and so forth, are all water soluble. So one of the important things that you need to do when you've put a vitamin C serum on to brighten your skin and to help your sunscreen work better and to protect your skin from the sun as well, is that it's quite important to leave it for 5 minutes or so to soak right into your skin, because otherwise it will just sit on the top of your skin. And you'll find many vitamin C serums, if you don't allow them to soak in, when you then put a face oil or a moisturizer over the top of it, particularly if it's a water-based moisturizer that you're putting on, and of course most of them are, then it will just ball up. So give that 5 minutes to soak into your skin. Okay, so my next step now is my face oil. I'm currently using the Chantecaille Rose de Mai face oil. It is now about half empty. It just provides a little bit of extra moisture to my skin, and I will literally just go 1-2 drops, and that's for my face. And I will pat that in. I have to say, however, for me, I do take that over my eyes at the moment because of my eye surgery. My eyelids tend to get a little bit dry, so I do take that above my eyes. 2 drops goes a long way. Do not use more than 2 drops. You really don't need it. I use another 2 drops for my neck, under here, particularly under my neck, particularly since my faceless surgery tends to get quite dry, so I tend to feed that a lot more than I used to when I was younger. Right, that's my face oil. Now, the Chantecaille Rose de Mai oil is very nice, but I've got to admit and say that when this bottle is finished, I'm not going to replace it with any more face oil. I'd really like to try the Vintner's Daughter. If anyone's tried the Vintner's Daughter face oil and you're happy to give me comments, please comment below and tell me what your thoughts were on the Vintner's Daughter oil. I'd really like to give that a try. That's about the same price as the Chantecaille Rose de Mai face oil. For me, I don't find that I get a massive payoff from face oil. Sure, it gives me a little bit more moisture through the day. I tend to have quite dry skin around here. I wouldn't say it's oily here, but it's normal through my T-zone, so I tend to need more moisture than not. But I think for the massive cost of the face oil that particular face oil was, there's not enough of a payoff on that for me. I usually wait just a few moments or so for my face oil to soak in, and then I put my moisturizer on. Now, I have to say that I am not someone who supports eye creams necessarily. Sure, that the area under here, under both of your eyes, is the thinnest skin on your whole body, and the pores across that skin are much smaller than any other area of skin anywhere on your body, in fact. So you do need a fine cream, a finely spun cream across here. But if you choose your face cream wisely in the first place and you don't have one that's too heavy or too comedogenic, then you really don't need an eye cream, in my opinion, as a separate product to your face cream. If you want to go and buy an eye cream, and you know, I've bought tons and tons of eye creams and I like them and they're very nice. But I sometimes wonder actually whether they're particularly worth it or not. So I can take an eye cream or I can leave it. Now my current face cream is the Benigma, which I really enjoy, and I'm hoping that you can see in there I am down to the last legs. I'm probably going to use the last of it today, which is a bit disappointing because I don't have one to replace it. But in a way, I'm actually quite pleased that I'm getting down to the bottom of this. I have absolutely loved this face cream, and I'm going to tell you it's going to be a favourite. But I've got a ton of different face creams and eye creams and moisturisers down here in my review drawer that I really want to try to see whether there is anything better than this one. But the Benigma cream, I can't speak highly enough of it. It's beautiful. So it comes with a little spoon, spatula thing, and I'm just going to apply that to my face. Now I put on quite a bit of moisturiser because my skin is so dry, and in the absence of an eye cream I take it below and above my eyes. But under your eyes, I go very gently under there, and I take it on top of my eyes. Many people will suggest that you do not do that, and under normal circumstances I won't, because I tend to have oily, sweaty eyelids. But because of my facelift surgery and my eyelid surgery currently, my eyelids are quite dry. And I'm just going to squeeze out the last of this cream. It's breaking my heart to get to the bottom of this jar. Can I find any more with my finger? And I take that down into my chest area as well. And anything that's left over I put onto the back of my hands. Your neck, your chest area, your décolletage, and the back of your hands are one of the first areas that will show your age, ladies. So don't forget them. I'm really sad to see the last of my Benigma cream there. And then I let that soak in for a couple of minutes because I have one more cream to add, and that's my sunscreen. Now, I know that many of us hate sunscreen. We don't like the smell of sunscreen. We don't like the feel of sunscreen. I know I'm not alone in that. And I recognise that sunscreen is not the most luxurious of products to apply to your skin, but it is probably the #1 product that, particularly for mature ladies and particularly for people using tretinoin and retin-A, it is a non-negotiable. There is no negotiating on it whatsoever. Sunscreen is a preventative in terms of fine lines and wrinkles. It is a preventative for sunspots. You can see that I've got one here that is fading because I'm putting some special stuff on it to fade it. And it will, the sun, if you do not protect your skin with sunscreen, with a good quality, high SPF, UVA, UVB sunscreen, you will be more susceptible to fine lines and wrinkles and to sunspots, to sun damage, and potentially to melanomas and skin cancers. I cannot stress enough how important a sunscreen is. For those of you gorgeous women who are much younger than us mature gals, please think about adding sunscreen as your last stage in your cleansing routine in the morning, as well as a preventative. It is far better to prevent sun damage and fine lines and wrinkles than it is to cure them, let me tell you. So please add sunscreen to your skincare routine. Now, I'm currently using the Mecca Cosmetica sunscreen, and I've tried a ton of sunscreens as well. This one is an SPF 50, and it is a UVB and a UVA. It is a chemical sunscreen, it's not a mineral sunscreen. So I'm going to apply that as my last stage, and I try and wait just for a few moments for my moisturizer, whatever moisturizer it is that I'm using, to soak into my skin before I put my sunscreen on, because otherwise your sunscreen can ball up as well. I just take that much, which in honesty is probably not enough, but there's a whole bunch of research out at the moment about sunscreen that says anything is better than nothing, but the research has gone in cycles. The research did state that for the longest time, probably about 8 years or so, it was saying that people are not applying enough sunscreen, and that for a face you need a teaspoon of sunscreen. Now, how on earth you would get a teaspoon of sunscreen onto your face and neck is beyond me, but that's what they were suggesting. And they were saying that if you didn't have sufficient sunscreen on, i.e. the teaspoon, then you had a less than 50% coverage of what you were thinking. So if you had an SPF 50 like this one is, and you were putting on insufficient sunscreen, then you would only have an SPF rating of 25 on your face. However, they are now saying the research has been updated a little bit just in the last year or so, and it's now saying that they think that whilst most people don't put on sufficient sunscreen across their whole bodies as well as across their face, that the amount of sunscreen that they are putting on, even if it is less than recommended, is often sufficient to meet the SPF that it talks about on the jar or the container, the tube, but that perhaps the length of time that you're using it for needs to be revised. So, for example, this one, which is an SPF 50, the new research indicates that I probably have got SPF, a rating of SPF 50, but the time frame that I would need to reapply that needs to be adjusted because I have less than a teaspoon's worth on my face. But the research also shows that if you are not in direct sunlight, then you can revise that a little bit as well. I might do a whole video actually on sunscreen, because there are whole piles of different research in the oncology genre and in the dermatological genre that talk about the pros and cons of effective SPF. So if you're keen to know more about how to get the best out of your sunscreen, let me know in the comments below and I'll do a video on that for you as well. So that's my morning skincare routine, at least it is at the moment. I do tend to change it up a little bit, of course, but that's my morning skincare routine. I'm really keen to hear what your morning skincare routine is as well. So please comment below for me and share with me the products that you're using and the products that are working for you. I'd love to know more. Please subscribe and join the Look 10 Years Younger team. You'll find the subscribe button that looks like this, and you'll find it down there. And when you click on it, poof, it magically changes, and now it'll look like that. If you click on the little bell button that's in there, it'll bring up a new window. And if you click on the button that says send me your notifications from this channel, every time I upload a video, it'll be first in your subscription feed so you can stay up to date with me. I love sharing videos with you. So you can find my last video here, and you can find another great video from me down there. I upload every Monday and every Thursday, so let's stay in touch. So that's been another video from me to you. I look forward to seeing you in my next video, so until then, bye from me.